The Shift Report with the Hood Mystic, where shift happens.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. Hope everybody out there is doing good, doing great. My name is Kyrie, the Hood Mystic, here with another video. Today we're going to be talking about some astrology topics, such as this Venus conjunct Jupiter, Venus conjunct Neptune, North Node, in its first decan of Pisces, sextile and Pluto in the first decan of Capricorn. Then we got Saturn trining Mars. And I just want to talk about these in a way that's kind of been on my heart. I've been going through some different types of experiences that caused me to stop, reflect, and introspect, and really just be on some re-examining type of shit. Just like how I view myself, how I view the world, all of these particular things. And I felt like the astrology helped me come to a deeper understanding of not only why were things happening, but what I could actually take from why were things is happening. And then it's also some stuff I want to talk about in the news. So I have the video set up into two sections, very much personal reflections in reference to the astrology chart. And then the last part would be more of some observational aspects of what's taking place in the news with Elon Musk and things of that nature, the USAID type situation. So let me just check on something. Hope everybody is doing well this evening, man. I'm like up late because I took a nap. I ended up taking a nap. I've been taking a nap for like 2 days in a row. I don't even really know what that's about, but I'm always the type of person that's like very much letting my body run the show. And sometimes when I just need rest, I just need rest. I've been working out every day for like the past, I don't even know. So I guess my body just really was just in need of a rest. And I'm not really mad because I've been really working out and really just being super positive as far as everything that I got to take care of. And I'm not going to beat myself up a lot of times because I understand this Saturnian energy, but I also understand that it needs some sort of like ease to this Saturnian energy. Like you have to just kind of like reflect, I guess, to get to a point where, all right, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to lock into. This is what I want to focus on. And I guess I just been on both sides of the spectrum, both sides of the coin. And moving forward, I think just understanding Saturn and understanding the play of all of this particular energy where you have the first deacon of Pisces, which Neptune, Venus, and the North Node is in. And that card is ruled by the Eight of Cups. So I'm going to pull up the Eight of Cups off tarot card and just show you what I'm talking about better than I can tell you. So give me 1 second as it loads up. So this is the Eight of Cups. So at the top of this card, you have the symbol or the glyph of Saturn. Okay. And at the bottom of this card, you have Pisces, but you probably can't see it because of the overlay. but you can Google this card. This is the Eight of Cups, Thoth Tarot card. And so this card is ruled by Saturn. And so it's so funny dealing with energy, like real life energy, and then like actually looking at this card. Because when you look at the chart and you see Venus, Neptune in the North Node, and the same deacon that's ruled by this card, it's like it's funny to me. And I know that's probably like, why is it funny? Like, how does that even make sense? Because like I've been like noticing a lot of different things, like with law enforcement, with this presidency, and then with like patriarchal energy and how it expresses itself, right? So say for it, and then like trying to raise kids, like so like just really think about it, right? Like you have to set a standard, set a rule in emotions. And so the Eight of Cups is like literally that. Like, say for instance, I've been watching like these body cam videos and people do not want to go to jail. But they break the law. So it's like they can cry. You know what I'm saying? Like I be seeing some crazy ass shit. And it's like ain't no emotion gonna pull you up out of that situation. People be breaking down 16-year-old kid, getting tried as an adult, and they telling them you about to do forever in a day, and he just start breaking down crying. So it gets me to thinking about other aspects related to this concept of how emotional we feel in our relationships, how emotionally we feel towards our finances. And it's like, cool. Like cool. But what about the structure? So, like, to really get into this energy of this card, you really have to abandon how you feel about stuff. So, the esoterics of the Rider Waite. So, looking at the Rider Waite version of this card, you see it more symbolic than it is literal. So, let me explain this. So he's walking away. It's a man right here, or a girl, who knows, right? Whoever he is, got a fatty ones in the chat, right? Pisces energy. Every Pisces I know got that good love. But but anyways, this person, male or female, is walking away from the Eight Cups. So, what does this symbolize? What does this mean? This means that it's walking away from however it feels about a situation, because, like, that's literally the thing that you need to do at all times, because your feelings, like when we going through Blue Magic, one of the concepts that we discuss in Blue Magic is like, you're not gonna feel your way to $1 million. You gonna put in that work. You know what I mean? So, like, say for instance, it's crazy, right? It's crazy concepts that I wrestle with, like online influencer, YouTuber, things like that. Cool. But it's one thing to like be like, yeah, I do that shit, whatever. I post every once in a while. Or another thing to think like, oh shit, I do this shit, so let me post every day, all day. See, if like I think about it, because recently I just been having like a schedule, or just things that I'm going to do on my profile, content that I'm gonna post. I'm going to post it, right? And I have a specific strategy that I'm working towards, that I'm happy that I'm implementing my strategy because it's organic. It's not costing me nothing. It's just requiring me to be consistent, but I'm converting my energy into sales. And I'm thinking like, damn, I really just need to be on this time, because I can't go clock into a job. I can't go to like do other shit to make money. But here it is. I could be at home, homeschooling my children, doing a whole bunch of other shit. right? But at the same time, thinking like, all right, let me post 3 pieces of content every day that's evergreen, that no matter when you get to these contents, is going to help you in some form or fashion. And then I'm going to be real intentional about my website, about everything that I got going on. And I think about it and I'm like, damn, people just don't even know, right? People just don't know how simple it is, how easy it is, how much money they can make because they half ass. So when you look at this energy, when you look at Venus, Neptune, and this in North Node in this first deacon of Pisces, it's like I don't feel like doing some shit. Like who in the fuck asked you anyway? Like who cares whether you feel like doing it? Like are you going to do it in spite of how you feel, in spite of how cringe it makes you feel, or whatever? Like, what is the thing that you love to do that you feel like it might hold you back, or just you feel anything about it? But say, because you have Venus, what you desire, what you love, what you value, and then Neptune is more of like being able to look at it from a higher aspect in reference to love. So Neptune and Venus is like though it's 2 women. One woman is choosing the best man in reference to cellular consciousness. She feels safe. She feels protected. She feels love. She feels all of these things and she's willing to reciprocate it. It's everything that she wants and needs. And when she finds this person, she's going to settle into this relationship. And Neptune is more or less going to like wait and save herself until she finds the right person. Venus, on the other hand, is fucking anybody that she like, right? So when these two comes into conjunction, it's the same girl, but a different point in their lives that then they have to come to a realization of what's right and what's wrong. 10 times out of 10, if you've been arguing with your baby mama for the past 17 years, if you talk to her now, you would be able to have some type of peace going on. If you talk to, and this is not gender specific, this is an emotional disposition that then comes into some form of balance, some form of levity. Because if you have young children, and it's not even reference to children per se, but usually when you make love, you make children. Usually the person that you love is a person that you value and is a person that you desire. When you are like, then you got to actually think about certain ways that social media distorts the Venusian aspect in all individuals, especially into, you liking the surface level of people and not even getting to know them. So now when it comes to the Venusian aspect, it's all over the place. It's not really grounded into nothing, but it's okay because within this particular, I would call it a reckoning or atonement that you can experience, you just have to detach from all illusions that you were thinking. And it goes in past relationships, present relationships, future relationships. Even if you're in a quote unquote good relationship, you got to start to see that person for who they are. Damn, this person is ultra feminine, and that's not a desirable quality that I would like in my relationship. I don't feel protected. I don't feel loved. I don't feel seen. I don't feel like this is the person that I can spend the rest of my life with. You got to begin to say shit like I was at a very low point when like, you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't even in my right mind. So you begin to look at things a lot more soberly and a lot more realistically. Why is this healthy? This is healthy because when you are in relationships that are full of illusions, that's unhealthy. So Saturn in this particular aspect, although it being painful, it's just more of like when you are Saturnian energy and you have to apply correction, the first thing that you deal with is a person saying, "Yeah, no, I don't have drugs on me." And you're like, "Okay, this person don't have drugs on them. Let them go." But then you get played to fool, you then be like, all right, I gotta check now. I gotta bring the dogs out. And I'm not pro cop. I'm just saying when you watch the body cam, you really can't take people word on it because they're gonna say, no, I don't got no drugs on me. No, I'm not the bad person. No, I'm not ready to take accountability. But at a certain point, that is based on delusion and illusion and cognitive dissonance. And within your relationship, you should be able to say, all right, how can we make amends, how we can communicate to rise and deal with whatever we need to deal with, not for the sake of me or you, but for the sake of ascension. And that is Neptune and North Node in this last house in the chart. So there is lower levels of accountability, but also higher levels of a discernment that allow us to make decisions moving forward. However, if you just keep going and going and going and going and going, then it's like you're not even understanding or making sense. Like it's things that's going on in your life that you feel like, oh, I'm so stressed out with this shit, hood. This shit right here is really just is weighing me down. And they'd be like, what's wrong? Yeah, my mama, yeah, the government. It'd be some shit outside of yourself that you just like, oh yeah, I need to feel this way. I'm down and out and all this shit. And it's like, listen, it actually may be true. I'm not going to dismiss or diminish how you personally feeling, but at a certain point, you have once again, this is one of the major breakthroughs that I've been making in prepping for this Chakra Nova intensive. 60 thoughts a day. 75% of those thoughts are negative. And negative is not and negative is not like good. It's a waste of time and a waste of energy. You spend so much of your time having negative thoughts that those negative thoughts create negative energies and negative reactions in your relationships, in your spirituality, in your spiritual development, rather, and also in where you're just trying to make it and be in your life. So, when I'm talking about activating chakras and trying to communicate the message, if you're just gonna just be like, yeah, I'm so busy doing this, then of course there's nothing that I could tell you, there's nothing that anybody can tell you. And then you gotta really ask yourself, what's the point of embracing the trauma so much? Like, why do you love the trauma so much? I gave this person a ride yesterday, and a motherfucker said, thanks for not harvesting my organs. And I said, what? I say, yeah, this shit is deeper than I thought it was because I'm like trying to be a good person because I didn't want you to catch the bus. You feel me? I knew you had a long ride. We was in Royal Oak. You gotta go by the goddamn river. That's at least a 2 hour bus ride. I thought about them, but them bus rides was therapeutic for me. I should have, you know what I'm saying, gave her that therapy, but yet instead I was just, doing my good deed. That shit come back in your face because you dealing with people. Like you gotta really just begin to think about this shit and approach this shit in a particular manner where you like, all right, how does this person think? How did this person think about themselves? How do I think? How do I think about myself? Is it doom and gloom? Because in reference, and this is absolute scientific fact. When I'm worried about my bills, I attract the energy that allows me to worry about my bills. When I'm confident that I'm going to make way more and have more than enough to pay my bills, that's exactly the energy that I wake up to. In reference to, it could be crazy. I could need $600 and I make $600 in that minute, but I ain't made $600 in the past 5 weeks, and then all of a sudden I need $600. Things just fall into place because we live in a world of cellular consciousness. So, and I'm thinking about this as I'm driving today, as something that I wanted to talk about. Like, we sitting here and we wondering, like, all right, how do we, what's the reason of dealing with shadow work per se? Because if you don't deal with the emotional aspects of how you approach life, then you're going to be behind the emotional aspects of how you deal with life. It's not like you're meant, it's like you're in a jail cell and your emotions is just your lawyer that speaks on your behalf, how you feel. But you got to actually think your logic and the way that you actually deal with this world have a lot more to do with Saturn than it have to do with anything else. Because if you actually was like the type of person that was structured, the type of person that was like really on it, then you wouldn't even feel bad. Meaning, like, if you went to work out and you did hard workouts, like shit that just, you working out, you leaving that gym feeling like shit, that's gonna make you stronger, especially if you do it every day. But then you say, well, I went through this day very comfortably. I didn't challenge myself at all. I didn't even look at my bank account. I didn't do nothing in reference to what I'm doing today that's going to lead me in tomorrow. I didn't do no artistic, creative endeavors. I just fucking just was very comfortable. I didn't push the limits. I've been getting a real sick little sickness in me with my sons because I homeschool. So one of the things that I've been getting real sick about, like it's like a sick, demented quality that I'm like really into, is when they say that they can't do something and I force them to do it. Like a math problem that's too hard, and then I just let them figure it out at all costs and I don't let them give up on themselves. That's becoming to be a little sick fetish that I have. I'm kind of looking for it. And this is like, I'm really into this Saturn discipline, correction type of energy because I understand correction is to make a motherfucker correct. And if you don't strive to correct, then you raising wrong people. And then, like, if you see your kids growing up, like my oldest kid is 11, and it's like, yeah, not about to, not about to just like give, like let it slip away. Because you can sense, like, like at 11, that's very critical, very crucial, from whether a person, you going to grab a person or that person going to slip away. And we went to school with people that was a certain way when they was 11, same way when they was 21, same way when they was 31. So we got to really be cognizant of our children and give the attention that our children need. And the attention is not, especially for dads and maybe less for moms, we want to be the good guy in the equation, and the good guy in the equation is not Saturnian. And the reason that we're talking about Saturnian things is because Neptune, Venus, the North Node is in the first decan of Pisces, which is ruled by the Eight of Cups. That card is ruled by Saturn. The first decan of Pisces is ruled by Saturn. Then we also have Saturn coming into a perfect trine with Mars, another, we could just say, externally leaning, patriarchal, masculine type of energy leaning. And when I say it, it's not relative to the gender, but it's just easier for us to understand based upon our upbringing. So Saturn trine Mars in places that they don't feel comfortable in the mind, right? Where you then have to have mental discipline. Where if you have negative thoughts, that is not mental discipline. And why we talk about these particular things is because they help us in the grand scheme of things. They give us a grounding where there is no real grounding. Sidereal astrology does that. So where you just might be existing in a place where you're like, well, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who to believe. I don't know who to trust. Look at your sidereal chart and then transpose it against your transit chart, and then you would then begin to see that, yeah, this goddamn Mars is aligned my moon. So when you look at Mars in this particular space, it is the destruction of systems, whether it be friend systems, relationships, even to governments. In this days and times, if you're like looking at the news and you're seeing Elon Musk do this and do that, and you're like, where is this coming from? Well, Saturn is trine Mars. Mars in the third decan of Gemini, which is ruled by the Ten of Swords, which means ruin, means that Elon Musk is coming to ruin the party. For whatever reason, and you don't, as a observer, you don't look at this as negative or positive. As an observer, you look at it as, how can I apply this to my story and my mission? So the overall premise of the astrological chart is saying, I don't know what the future may hold, because the emotions and the mental and Pluto being in the first decan of Capricorn is not giving me a clear sight of what color butterfly I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm going to be a monarch. I don't know if I'm going to be a moth, but I know for sure I'm not going to be a caterpillar any longer. One's in the chat. Make sure you like the video. If you like the video, share the video to those who might need to hear this message. So like this is not, so it's a sextile and a trine, and it's not the doom and gloom aspects. It could be some degree of separation or some degree of moving on, but that moving on have already taken place. What's taking place now is the logic and the understanding of why it happened, so you can just begin to see that you just need to let things go, turn away from it emotionally and look at it strategically. Because what's been happening? You've been being emotional this whole time, and people have been strategic with you. One's in the chat, and it's catching you off guard. It's blindsiding you because you've been giving people your love, Venus, and they've been giving you strategy. And that don't have nothing to do with nothing. But understand, when people give you strategy and you give them love and it don't work out, that's actually good, because you'll be able to be in a situation that allows your cellular consciousness to communicate with other cellular consciousness. But you have to raise kundalini. In order to raise kundalini, you have to stop, reflect, and introspect and understand who you are, and begin to tune and channel inward your energy into kundalini breaths and inward understanding. Meaning you go from the inside out. You don't go from the outside in. When you go from the inside out, you'll be able to understand these particular things that are taking place, and also understand how you could maneuver through it. So, a way to not maneuver this time is try to get that old thing back. You're trying to get that old thing back, and a lot of people is going to be pulling on your energy, wanting you to kind of look at them in a different light. One's in the chat. People want you to see them differently in reference to they're gaslighting you into thinking like maybe they've changed, maybe they're not the same person. But when people show you who they are, you gotta believe them. You cannot even fathom a person ever changing, because you gotta then look at yourself. Are you changing, or are you just becoming the person that you always were? One's in the chat. Are you changing, or are you just in a space where nobody is blocking you and nobody is holding you back, and you got people around you that's helping you, that see you, that love you, and it's not that you changing, it's that people is not trying to hold you back. So therefore, people don't change. The people who always sucked off your energy, the people who have always held you back, will continuously hold you back. The things that you do. So Pisces deals with addictions. So it's like I seen a meme that says like it could be one thing that's holding you back from everything. So it could be a person, place, or a thing. And simply letting it go can unlock so much for you. It could be a multitude of things, but it could be one thing within that multitude. So it could be a relationship and a drug habit. It could be a drug habit and a place that you stay. It could be inability to work out and lose weight, and a drug habit and living in the wrong town. So you move, get out of a relationship and work out. Now all of your problems are solved because you eliminated the thing that is holding you back. And these are the things that have already taken place, but now the logic is setting in. Now the emotions is setting in to whereas you could be going through something, but then you come to the realization like, damn, I'm not the only person that's been through this. Many people have been through this before, and I'm just going through this in my own type of way. And then you get over yourself, and everybody just kind of assimilates and gets used to it. So this is transits moving through Pisces, and we'll feel all of this coming into a head when we move specifically into like spring equinox. So that's like very soon, a month and a half. We'll see the spring equinox take place. The sun is going to be in Pisces in this energy, and you'll be able to fully express everything good that's right with the world. Everything that we've experienced that feel like it'll never end and just this negative turmoil, all of this is coming to an end. But in reference to the ending, there are specific understandings that have to take place, and everybody is not going to experience it because everybody does not have the mental and emotional capability to metamorphosize, to take advantage of the whole entire planet in reference to what you can actually do versus to what you feel you can do, what you want to do. But it's like, well, you actually can do this, but I don't feel like doing it. Most people are going to fall into that category. We can actually do this, but I don't want to do it. Most people are going to fall into that category, and really we've already been knee deep into this particular energy when Pluto moved into Capricorn. When Pluto moved into Capricorn, that was the high sign that you can do whatever you want and your life is going to change for the better. But it's ultimately your in your full control. So whether you are doing rituals, whether you are doing spell work, whether you are doing witchcraft, whether you're doing sorcery, you understanding that it's working for you, right? You understanding that you getting what you want. And then you also understand that people will not do it because they don't understand that they have a soul. So we was having a conversation earlier about the pertinence or the usage of spirits in reference to using your soul. So I made the analogy of saying, all right, the goal is to catch a squirrel, but you got a dog in the house, right? But you don't never open the door to let the dog out to catch the squirrel. You hire people, you do seances, you do rituals, you call more people, you try to chase it yourself, you get a sniper mask, you climbing in trees, doing everything you can catch a squirrel, but you fail. And sometimes you might catch a squirrel using all these different types of techniques, but every time you got to catch a squirrel, you got to do that particular technique. But the thing that I said at the beginning of the story is that you always got a dog in the house. That dog in the house is reference to your soul. So once you open the door, the dog is automatically trained to hunt the squirrel. He gonna get the squirrel and bring it back home because that's what he's trained to do. That's what's inherent for him to do. So this analogy in reference to your soul, all of the things you want and desire is already encoded within your DNA, but you need to activate yourself internally. And if you haven't done that work, then you're not going to experience it in the way that you think you're experiencing it. You going to have hardships. You going to hit your head up against the wall because you are not internally guided. You are guided by something else. And when you're dealing with people, it is the flame of being internally guided, or it is the lack of the flame of being internally guided, and there is no in between. So when we talk about Kundalini and whether we should do it or we should not do it, it's not even a question of whether you should or shouldn't do it, because if you're not even emotionally and mentally prepared, it's not even going to be accessible for you. So therefore, you cannot hold on to what is like this whole shit is like an earthquake. You can't then hold on to the piece of land that's moving out into the sea. You're gonna have to learn how to move around. You're gonna have to learn to adjust, and you cannot be too certain about anything because you operate in ritual and witchcraft. The nature of ritual and witchcraft is that you cannot have a lust for result. So once again, we're talking about basic magical concepts. When you are focused on the results rather than on the ritual to obtain the results, it uncenters you, diminishing your focus and chances for success. So when you live a life of wanting shit, you don't even get access to the joys of spirituality because the ritual is not something that you focus on. You focus on what the ritual is going to get. This is another way that psychedelics assist you because it takes you into a different form of consciousness that most people feel uncomfortable with because we grow up to be so materialist. And if we can't touch and hold on to something that is, you know, of a lower vibrational frequency, solid matter, then it don't matter to us. And that was a bar and a pun, but I'm a poet, didn't even know it. Whatever the case may be. But what I'm saying is, do not be focused on what you want. Be focused on the magic that you are. Be focused on the ritual. Be focused on the spell because it's people who've been wanting the same shit for years. One's in the chat if you know motherfuckers that been wanting the same shit for years. Every time you talk to them, they've been trying to be, and it's like, dog, stop wanting it. At a certain point, you can stop wanting it, do the ritual, and become one with it. Do the ritual as much as you need to, or as less as you need to. But the ritual and the concept of the ritual is to get you outside of the fact that you even want something. You're trying to shake it up off of you. Because once you shake it up off of you, and the easy way to shake it up off you, back to my analogy, is understanding that you have a soul and you can get everything that you want when you focus on the soul. So, what should the ritual be for? For you to get closer to your soul, to get under deeper hypnosis, to get under deeper trance, to get into deeper resonance with your spirit. And a lot of times you can do a lot of shit in this world and it's not going to matter or equate to shit because you got a soul that you just been like, yeah, whatever. Where the pussy at though? Where the money at? Where the dick at? Where this at? Where that at? And it's like, what about your soul? Yeah, I don't really give a fuck. So looking at Venus, Neptune, the North Node, sextiling, Pluto. Pluto is this, like I've been in this. It's been very apparent when I show you in the print section of this video. It's very apparent that we are living in a plutocracy. And if somebody is trying to isolate you, like keep you away from people that you making money with, stop fucking with. You shouldn't be around people that you cannot grow with financially. You can't be with people that's not trying to help you out be a successful version of yourself. You cannot operate in that paradigm. Because when you operate in that particular paradigm, you cut yourself off from what really truly matters. And you could be getting to a motherfucking bag right now, but it's like you holding on to shit at an emotional level about what you feel like and what you don't feel like. And you have to shake that energy off. Shake, shake, shake it off. And the what I've been really talking about, if you've been following my Instagram, and I'll be uploading like shorter videos in reference to just different concepts that's leading up to building up Kundalini. So every day I'm just dealing with a concept that I'm just trying to put together a 3 minute reel to just express the concept, because some of this stuff can be complicated and can be a lot of words. So I'm just challenging myself to just list out certain concepts in a 3 minute format that's like easier to understand, easier to digest, but ultimately it will help you into more of a Kundalini resonance. So, what I'm talking about specifically is the ability to think deeper into things. So, what I mean, there'll be a surface thing that happens, right? But, and you might feel a certain way to that surface thing. The deeper thinking is to not really react to that, but think as to why I'm having this particular experience. And if you're able to do that, that's also embracing a form of emotional detachment, like detaching from that emotion through examination. And when you actually are in a space where you're not emotional, then the changes, the migratory, cellular conscious, collective unconscious waves of moving you into right proper alignment is much easier. Rather, you trying to force a relationship, go back to a relationship, mad that you lost your job, or whatever surface level thing that's taking place that's threatening your survival, threatening, your sense of self, your self-worth. All of these particular things, you have to examine it, because then you'll say this relationship is tied into my self-worth. And that's like stupid. No relationship should be tied into your self-worth, because she could fuck the maintenance man tomorrow. That don't have nothing to do with you. You should be doing things outside of your relationship that speak to your self-worth. And then when you are doing those things, do your partner support you, or do your partner try to interfere? If you try to interfere, then you understand the problem. But if you not just you just existing with a fucking terrorist. A lot of y'all got relationships and dealing with just straight up terrorists, and you can't negotiate with a terrorist, because a terrorist's whole point is to ruin your whole entire shit. But you have an emotional attachment, and that's just crash out season. So Capricorn is like a plutocracy that's saying we supposed to be working together, getting money together, balance these scales, because we got to like really rise and grow and manage in rough terrain, i.e., business. Not easy. You need a lot of support when you're in business, especially in your relationships, whether they working with you or not. It have to be an understanding. So you running your business and your wife a stay at home mom, she can't then flip on you like, why you always going? You working all the time. Like, yeah, I know, cause this is what I'm supposed to do. But you're supposed to help me do this. Nah, it don't always work like that. But I feel like I just want this, and a lot of people have ruined their relationships because they're emotionally attached to a result that don't even fucking matter. And then it's like, well, he should have spent more time with me, but he was on his purpose. He was on his mission. And when he's out doing what he's doing, he's fulfilled in that. You should be doing something for which you should be fulfilled in. Well, I don't be fulfilled with the kids. I don't be fulfilled with cooking and cleaning and doing that shit. Well, be fulfilled with something and figure out a solution. That's Saturn in that particular Eight of Cups energy. Find a solution, figure out something that works. Fuck how you feel. Figure out something that works because everybody got to be taken care of in this particular situation. We all got to come to the table with what this actually means. So, even more so when you have Saturn in Aquarius in the third deacon, like, so in the third deacon of Aquarius, rather, this card is ruled by the Seven of Swords, which is titled futility, but really it's like learning how to be very discerning and very cautious before you make any bold statements or any bold moves. And honestly, like why would you be so gung ho to do a thing with a person and you don't even know this person's resume? So Saturn in this particular energy is when you trying to fill out an apartment and they do a background check. They do a credit check. It's good for you if you got your credit together and you never been evicted. It's cool. You making enough money. It's cool. Yeah, move in by the first. It's cool. But when your credit is fucked up, you got evictions on your record. You not making enough money. You not making three times the income to move in there. You can't cry about it. You can't pray to God about it. You literally gotta build your credit up. You literally like and people be fucking homeless. Like in real life, people be going through a lot of different shit because they credit is not together. They got evictions on their shit. They don't got enough money to move. And then it's like, well, hood, you post too much. You don't post enough. Damn, you gotta market. You gotta send out an email every week. Fashion Nova send out text messages every day. Every day. When you Coca Cola got billions of dollars, Nike got billions of dollars. They spend millions, if not billions of dollars in advertising, marketing, and promotion. Guys, come on, get with it or get lost. Sometimes I had a conversation earlier about, something about some business. And it's like, yeah, we did this thing a long time ago. I just feel like, and I'm just like, you can feel however you want to feel, but the reality is the effort and the energy that I put into it on a daily basis to get this shit off the ground is what it is. Cause without that, niggas can't say nothing. Cause if I got the same energy that motherfuckers have of yeah, I started it, but I didn't finish it, then that's it. You don't have shit. If you niggas had shit that they had going on, they don't got it going on no more. They stopped doing it. If you stop doing it, it dies. So in reference to like Saturn in Aquarius and the reality of trying to get into somewhere, trying to live in this life, you got to get your money up. You got to put effort into it. You can't look a certain way. You can't look a certain type of way. If you single and you fat, you got to lose weight. Now, if you're in a relationship and you fat and your partner love you for being fat, more to the gravy. But you hoping somebody like you, and the main reason that you've been single for so long is probably because you fat. That's Saturn in Aquarius. Well, what's wrong with being fat? Ain't nothing wrong with being fat. Except ain't nobody gonna really like you for real. They gonna be silently thinking to themselves, damn, she'll look cold if she lost weight. Damn, he'll look better if he worked out. My wife told me she was in the sauna talking to a girl, and the girl was telling her, you know what I'm saying, like he don't talking about me like he don't look like he 40. Like he looked young for real. My husband, on the other hand, he 37 and he looked 37. This how his wife is talking about him at the sauna. You know what I'm saying? Like his wife, they got kids together, they got house together, they you know what I'm saying, got multiple cars and shit, you know. And his wife is unimpressed. Cause I'm imagining he fat or he lazy or he don't look like he work out. And she not fully engaged into the relationship, or else you wouldn't even be talking shit about him in the fucking sauna. So it's like me, you know what I'm saying? I don't be ever I know that I need a lot of work and I got a lot of work ahead of me, but that's just the work that I'm going to take. I'm already in that space. Like I'm committed to this fitness journey. I don't give a fuck. Like that's just one of the things that I do every day. It's not even the gym, it's the track, it's nature. It's a commitment to life. It's a commitment to health. Like I don't know nothing else besides that. And so and within that, it's like you get certain wake up calls like, yeah, you gotta fucking make this money too. You gotta really apply yourself and approach it in a way where shit. If the niggas who spent money with you yesterday ain't spending money with you today, you gotta find more people to spend money with you. If you did it before, you can do it again. You just gotta apply yourself. You just gotta work hard. You can't be afraid and not going through your campaign and put the work in, put the effort in. You just gotta push through. And the more you push through, the more it's gonna work for you. The more you'll sit back and you'll reach your financial goals. But if you don't work through it, if you're not posting every day, if you're not, trying to grow your business every day, like you're not trying to get a photographer, you're not trying to level up your layout, you're not trying to level up your sound, you're not investing nothing into what you got going on. You just hoping one day you wake up to this viral success. How that's gonna happen? You're not studying the game. You're not knowing what sites to do, what not to do. You're relying on AI or not using AI at all. Like it's a lot of shit that motherfuckers just don't know and they won't ever know. And a lot of times it comes to a long time of not really applying yourself and being in a space where you've been emotional. You've been feeling like you should do or you shouldn't do nothing. And man, this whole country have it's a rotted, sickened disease that have spread throughout the whole entire. It's like a whole entire regime shift, and these people for so long have just been, we got this $1 trillion debt or whatever, and all of this money, people just been doing the wildest shit with billions of dollars. So it's like this is actually this is actually some shit that's actually happening, right? So it's like AOC, can't think of her name on the right. She was running for president. She said that she got Indian in her family. I'm trying to think of her name. But anyways, they accused Trump and Musk of a plutocratic coup. So when we look at the chart, we see Pluto in the first decan of Capricorn. Pluto represents the plutocracy. This first decan of Capricorn representing change. we are seeing a coup is basically a change in government, a takeover. And the way that Musk took over, he took over with money. Like Musk is, he got a lot of money. And when you got a lot of money, you can be into government. And for me, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, it's kind of fucked up though. Cause you making money, shouldn't you just be like on a resort getting head from somebody or something? You know what I'm saying? You got $1 billion, just get some head or something. You know what I'm saying? Like the actual science behind it. But these dudes, they get super rich and then they want to get into politics and they want to like structure how we live. So when we looking at politics and we as people that's not a part of the ultra rich, the billionaire class, this shit ain't for us, man. And I don't know how it's going to turn out, but it's not looking good, man. When you have these people who are specifically rich, specifically wealthy in government and wealth and power, what does that make people do? And how does that make people feel about the collective? I don't know. I really don't know. So this is a quote by Oscar Meringer, and it says, "Politics is the gentle art of getting votes from the poor and campaign funds from the rich by promising to protect each from the other." And the reality is, in this world that we live in now, there is no protection. And the thing about this USAID situation that's really bothering me is that we can send out billions of dollars all over the world, but most most people, right? It's the thing, right? Y'all know the saying of, one's in the chat if you ever heard of the saying of a hobosexual. One's in the chat if you ever heard of a hobosexual. Cause and I feel like that question is like, it goes without saying, but you gotta also understand that it's hard for a black man to get a place because the place is not fair, especially when you have a landlord. Like, it's easier for you to get a place, like if you just let your girl go there, right? Because it's a man usually, right? Just be in general. He gonna be like, yeah, I'll give you the place because that's how it works. He might see you and be like, all right, let's run your name. Let's da 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 da. Yeah, can't rent to you. Nah, can't rent to you. Maybe you don't even make enough at your job. Maybe you don't even got a job. Maybe you make money under the table and you haven't figured out how to do your paperwork to make it look like you got a real life income. Maybe you got a criminal record. Maybe you don't even do nothing with your credit. All of these particular things, when you're a black man, it's still no excuse. When you're a black man, it's like me. I'm saying I'm a black man. I got my own place, and when you have your own place, it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to attain. It's not an easy thing to have. So you could just be creative and have your own space that you feel comfortable. Man, I fight for this shit. You feel me? Fight for it every day. And I don't never take it for granted. And I don't never complain. Cause shit, I know how it is on the other side of this. And I'm saying all of this to say we could easily live in a world where black men, black women, black children, black families have a place to stay based upon US aid. Because all over the world, we send billions of dollars to people so people cannot starve in other countries while people in our own country is starving. That shit to me is just crazy. So I'm not so anti Elon in the White House more than I'm just like I'm just not a fan nor I'm not a foe. I'm just watching how this shit go. So like a couple days ago, the USAID website it went completely offline. And the Democrats, they really lost their shit. Like people was like really freaking out about it. And I'm just trying to think whether well, let me just say it like I see it. I see it as like demonic entities and energies wanting to siphon the wealth of this country through the people that signed their children over through the birth certificate and social security system, which is connected to a large bank account that none of us really have access to because we don't understand what a trust is. We don't understand fiat currency. And we don't understand that since we went off the gold standard, the actual standard is you, the amount of work that you're going to do, the amount of output that you're going to do in your life, that is reference to an account. So when you work, they don't pay you from money that's out of thin air for the company. They just pay it from your own account. So in reference to how they spend the money that's in the account is one of these ways, USAID. So I'm telling people we're moving more closer to a universal basic income because we have to. That's something that we need to fight for. We all need to fight for equal housing, equal transportation. There's no reason in this country that if for any reason we shouldn't have a house to stay and we shouldn't have a vehicle to drive. So we could be able to work and live in a peaceful, utopic society. Not a dystopia society where some of these people got money and some of these people don't got shit. The way of that form of thinking have to end. So you don't do all of this auditing to come to an understanding where this system is fair. You come to this auditing and say that this system is fucked up and we have to start it over. And we have to give everybody a fair shot. So I'm saying everybody have a right to a home. Everybody have a right to transportation and everybody have zero credit. To whereas if like we just have to be on equal ground, we have to be because these people have been plundering this whole entire country ever since, and we never even got a chance to stand on our own too. So as we look at this energy and these things that's taking place, it's a lot of big things that's going to be taking place. And once again, it's not going to be like somebody going to wave a magic wand and everything's going to be okay. They're going to pass certain laws. They're going to do certain things. They're going to be certain cryptocurrency coins. They're going to be certain secrets that we could all be attuned to based upon the collective of conscious and being internally guided to just simply a line. As I was thinking it, I seen it on the goddamn page. It's a deep and great alignment that's taking place. And the reality is you have to do the work internally. So it's another article that says Elon Musk is now running the United States, not Donald Trump. An unelected billionaire is running the state through a shadow government without formal checks, right? He's doing that. He's taking full control over everything just because he got money. So I'm just wondering at what point does the system stop? At what point does the system continue to go on? Because this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, and if it could, I just understand that all things have to play out in a way where there has to be some drama, but ultimately it balances itself out. It levels itself out. So there's gonna be some strategy, but ultimately, what is the maintenance? What is the normal? What is the new normal after we shift up all of this stuff? So within this weekend, the weekend is gonna be a real big announcement that we just kind of been gearing up to. And the way that these things been going, will it capture the attention of the masses? Probably not, because they've been trying to do things to wake people up, wake people up, wake people up, and none of it is working. Right. So keep your third eye open, right? But also stay focused. Focus on you, focus on being internally guided. Because when you are internally guided, you'll be able to know what it is that you should be doing versus just assuming that this is what I should be doing because of fear, because of fight or flight, because of negative thoughts, because of thinking that something bad is going to happen. Right? Really, really get into a space where you have the ability to not defeat yourself before you get in the game mentally. And a lot of this, you got to be able to rest. You got to be able to say no. You got to step away from shit. And like you can be caught up like Usher, but at a certain point, you got to be able to step back. This week, this weekend, it represents like a time to really rest, reflect, take a step back, and then just know like to retreat. Like even when you look at the Eight of Cups is somebody that is like walking away from emotional situation. When you look at the Ten of Wands, it represents a separation of a particular energy. So take with that as you may, but don't run away, but ultimately make the best decision for you and don't be exhausted, don't be stressed out by this world. You know, learn to have that moment of clarity. Um, get some help, get some assistance to whereas if you have children, you know, devote time, devote energy into your children, love your children, but don't be 24/7 mom. Don't be 24/7 dad, right? Don't even be 24/7 wife or 24/7 husband. Find time to honor and treat yourself and love yourself and take a step back, right? Really get in tune with yourself. And then from there, you will get the answers. But I find that this time and this energy is more trying to get us into a state of reflecting and pausing for a second, right? Just so we can get some type of guidance and understanding of what's going on. So, uh, if you are the type of person that's interested in being internally guided and you want to take part in a transformative journey, a transformative experience. Take part in the Chakra Nova 777. It's intensive from February 16th. It ends in the last week of March, takes place every Sunday. It's going to be a design program to help you align your mind, your body, and your spirit through meditation and study. And the goal is to raise Kundalini so you can deal with your spiritual intelligence, to deal with who you truly are, and not be in no form of illusion, no form of confusion. We're going to start at the root chakra and work our way through each chakra with the purpose of activating, understanding, and living in the bliss of these activated chakras. There'll be a guided meditation for each Sunday class, as well as a lecture followed by a Q&A. So, you know, hopefully you take part in this. The link is in the description, or you can click the QR code that's below if you wish to take part in the Chakra Nova 777 intensive. So, Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate you for um, shouting out the setup. You know what I'm saying? You know, just grateful, that I have an amazing wife that will do things like this, because me, I be doing a lot of different things that I'll never think to like it'll be an idea, but she'll just be like, I have an idea to do a setup for you in the office. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my wife for looking out. Appreciate you. Um, but other than that, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this show. Just wanted to do a video, do a long form piece of content, just to kind of just do something more or less than doing nothing. Because even though it's late, still find it a good time to have a good conversation in reference to the energy. And I hope this video helps somebody um, take some time to reflect and think about who they are. The goal is to awaken and raise Kundalini in these days and times because it can be very confusing, but ultimately it could be also very enlightening if you do the spiritual work. So, with all of that being said, this is the Shift Report. I am your host, the Hood Mystic, and this is where shift happens. Peace.
The Shift Report with the Hood Mystic, where shift happens. The Shift Report with the Hood Mystic, where shift happens.